Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe and to click on the notification bell for more videos. And just before I get into the story time, I just want to thank everyone for watching my last video, as well as all the constructive criticism. I'm really open to it. Thank you so much. So today I'm not going to ramble too much. As you guys can see, the title of the video is how my baby daddy paid a bouncer to pose as his uncle. So I'm just going to start in the beginning. Disclaimer, me and the father of my child are not together. We have not been together for over 3 years. But yeah, so this all started off in the beginning of my pregnancy when I told him that I was pregnant and I was expecting his child. And obviously, as we know, most men are like, let's have an abortion. And obviously I was so against it. And obviously I did express that many times. And I have a baby now, which means obviously I didn't go through with it. So at the time that I found out that I was pregnant, he was not in the country. He was on holiday. And when he came back, this is when we're now like talking about the actual thing. So within that time frame of me being pregnant and everything, so like within the time frame that he was back, and we obviously now had to make a decision or like literally plan for this. He wasn't very keen on just the whole pregnancy and him being a dad and whatever. And what happened was he kept on telling me that he needed to tell me something, but every time he had the opportunity, he would never say anything to me. So there was one specific night that he came to my place and he said he needed to tell me something, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's talk. And I ended up not saying anything. We actually got into a little argument, which he ended up leaving, and we just never went through with the conversation or whatever he wanted to tell me. The next day, I get a text message from him. This was in the afternoon while I was trying to take a nap. At the time I was like it was between 2 and 3 months pregnant. He sends me a message, and the message was basically, just to summarize it, was that he was cheating on me and he had made another girl pregnant. And there was also another girl that had his child, or a girl that had given birth, that he had made pregnant, and she was not in the country, but she was coming back and he wanted to do a paternity test. Mind you, he also told me that his mom knew about all of the stuff, and that how he felt so bad that he was incriminating himself and saying all of these things to me. Okay, obviously I was pissed off, I was angry, all of that, and I was obviously not going to stay with him knowing that this was the situation. But the last thing on my mind was having an abortion. So I broke up with him, and I guess for him that was maybe that's what he wanted. But anyway, we then, time went by, and obviously I informed my parents on the situation, that I was no longer with the guy, and my parents were still like thinking it was something like hormonal and all of that stuff, that we would get back together. Obviously that wasn't the case, but my dad still wanted him to come with like an uncle, the way we do it in the African families, to come and say that he is responsible for my pregnancy. He agreed, and he said that he would like inform someone and he would do his part and he would come. So the day arrived. We actually had a time set, and he suggested a different time, and we said okay, cool, we went with it. And he was even late to that. For me, that was really like disrespectful. He was already late. He was late. I think it was almost like an hour late for a time that he had suggested, which was a later time than the one that I had suggested. So he gets there with this guy that is obviously not familiar to me, and this guy is now representing, saying that he was sent by my baby daddy's family to represent them, as they do not live in the country, as well as they don't speak English. Cool. I had some uncles there that were obviously conducting the whole thing. And I remember clearly that there was a time when they asked him, like, obviously, do you take responsibility for this pregnancy and whatever? And obviously he said yes. And then I remember those uncles saying to him, to him and the uncle, that when we're saying that you're responsible, it's not that you're just responsible like that kind of responsibility. We're talking about financial responsibility as well. So you need to take care of her financially as well, over the pregnancy. And the uncle was so disrespectful. Hey, his response to that was like, we're not gonna make I'm not gonna make my nephew go and steal on the road just to make sure that he's being responsible financially. In that moment, guys, in that moment, my mother was there. In that moment, my mother just looked at the guy and she was like,
oh God, that's the way you talk. Repeat them again.
nobody's telling your son to go and rob anyone, but now it's going to force him to be more responsible and for him to put an urgency on the fact that he's looking for another job, as he wasn't working at that time. And things went the way they went. For some weird reason, they didn't want to give us the contact details. My mom kept on insisting on contact details for his parents, but they kept on like brushing it off and saying stuff like, no, we will be in communication, don't worry. Okay, cool. And then they came to an agreement where he had to pay for damages, and they gave him the amount, and then they said that they would only be able to pay this after the child was born, because that's how it worked in their culture. I don't know, there's probably a lie. But anyway, that was done, that was fine. Then time went on. The guy didn't care a damn. He didn't care a damn about my pregnancy, didn't care a damn about me, he didn't care at all. So like, I think throughout my pregnancy, I probably saw him twice, 2 or 3 times, if I'm even pushing it a little. He didn't come to any of the scans. He didn't contribute a single cent. He was just as absent as somebody can be, was what he was. He was absent in all aspects of just being like, So I remember that when I asked him about the one pregnancy of the girl that he said that he cheated on me with, and she was pregnant, he told me that she was also giving birth in September, and I was also due in September. And he had told me that she's giving birth to twins, and that he went with her to a scan, and I was the supposed girlfriend, so I didn't understand how he went with her, but he's never even been to one scan with me. But it was what it was. I thought, okay, maybe he fancied her more and he found it more important because this girl was carrying twins and I'm just carrying one child. But that was fine. Like, honestly, for me, I didn't really think too much of that. Then I think I was 8 months pregnant. I went into premature labor, and in that whole time frame, my sister let him know. He didn't care a damn. Because he didn't contact us. He didn't find out anything. I was literally in hospital. The baby's head was literally there at the bottom, and he didn't give a rat's ass about the fact that either things were gonna go south or we were gonna make it. My sister sent him a message. My sister even sent him pictures of me in the labor ward and all of that stuff. He didn't message, he didn't contact me or anything until I contacted him. I think it was a day later or whatever, to ask, like, dude, I'm carrying your child. I almost, like, you don't even know what's going on. You don't even know if the child is. He said he thought it was a joke, because in our lives, right, we live and we strive to like sit and plan all of this stuff to go into hospital, and we pay doctors and we pay all of those people just so that we could have fun and that he could feel like, I don't know, like some type of way, like, because this is what we lived for. So anyway, 2 weeks after that, I actually ended up giving birth, and I didn't tell him. But there was something that was weird, that was like bugging me the whole time, was the fact that I hadn't heard from any of his family members, even the so-called uncle, from the time that he came for the family introduction. And then I was like, no, man, I know he's got a sister here, and I know he said he's got a sister back home, but I need to find these people on social media and try and find out. So I started my FBI vibes. I started digging, and I came across his sister's profile on Facebook, and then I messaged her. But because I didn't know whether she spoke English, I obviously used Google Translate, and then she messaged me back, and she was like, hey, wow, this is a lot. Let's chat on WhatsApp. So we went on WhatsApp, and I asked her if she could speak English. She was like, yeah, sure, we can speak in English. And then I told her, listen, I just gave birth. I don't know if you're aware of this, but I just gave birth to your brother's child. And she was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And she was like, how old? So I was like, the baby's a month old. This time, baby didn't even know I'd given birth already. I was like, the baby's a month old. She asked for pictures. She said, listen, don't say anything to him. I'm going to speak to my parents. I don't know anything, but maybe my parents do know, and they just didn't tell me because I'm the baby. And she wasn't the baby because she was like 19 or something. So anyway, we moved on from that. So she told me that she would let me know, because this conversation happened very late at night. I think it was around 10, 11. So she said she would get back to me, and that I should not say anything to baby daddy. So I was like, okay, cool. So the next day, she messaged me very early in the morning. She was like, hey, my parents don't know anything about your pregnancy. They don't even know about you. So basically, I didn't exist. And at that time, we were now like all wondering, like, okay, fine then. If they don't know about the pregnancy, who's the guy that came here to represent them? Like that, the family that he's been in communication with the dad and all of that stuff. So now we started obviously unpacking everything, and then in that whole unpacking of lies, I'd found out that the pregnancy about the person that he was coming back for paternal test or whatever, that was a lie. Even the fact that he impregnated another girl and that she was carrying twins was a lie. And the worst thing was he lied. The lie was so bad was that he killed off his own child. So he basically told me that the girl gave birth to twins and the one child died in hospital and was buried in hospital. So this guy, just for you to guys see that up here, it's not right. I'm sure that when the sister told the parents that, listen, your son has a child in SA somewhere, and like they under the belief that you guys are aware, I'm sure this was the first thing that came into the parents' mind.
You are the source of our problem. You are the source of our problem.
Yeah. So from there, I obviously called my mom and my dad, and I was like, guys, everything that we did, that whole meeting, whatever, it was nonsense. The parents don't know anything. And I wish that it was actually a video call so that I could have seen my parents' reaction. But I'm telling you that this was their reaction. Jesus! And then, yeah, so we ended up figuring out that he was lying. He didn't tell his parents anything. They never knew anything about the pregnancy. Also, as well as the kids that he said he had, or whoever he impregnated, that was all a lie. So now obviously now we're trying to figure out who this uncle is that came and represented and whatever. So this happened, I think it was like a month later, or 2 or 3 weeks later of us finding out that my baby daddy lied and that the family didn't know anything about me and the pregnancy and the child. Me and my sister went out to the club. As we were, breaking it down, we enjoying ourselves, having a good time. First I'm going out after I'd given birth. And then my sister says, dude, is that not the guy that was at our house representing your baby daddy? I was like, wait. She was like, I don't know if I'm seeing things correctly or incorrectly, but there's the guy. I was like, no. Now I'm thinking he's at the club also like enjoying himself and drinking. And then I'm like, wait, I don't see any guy. My sister says, no, that guy standing there, isn't the guy a bouncer? I'm like, no, man, what do you mean? She's like, just go. Because he was quite like far. So I walked past him and I looked straight into his eyes. And I was like, now I'm like wondering, this guy came to my house acting like he's a businessman, because that was what he was portraying, that he's a business guy and whatever. Then I did a little bit of digging on my end, because he ended up appearing on my People You May Know on Facebook. And my baby daddy didn't have a Facebook profile, or I don't know whether he blocked me or whatever. But when I went into that guy's pictures, because now I'm obviously like trying to search for evidence, trying to see what I can come up with. I'm scrolling through the pictures and whatever. Then I see a picture of baby daddy and this guy years ago. Not years ago, like maybe 2 or 3 years prior to me meeting him. And this guy, I ended up seeing him taking multiple pictures, like at clubs, like standing outside the clubs, like as a bouncer. So I figured out that he probably went and he told his friends that, listen, the situation is I need to go to this girl's family and I need somebody that's going to come represent me that is not my family member, because I need to buy time, because obviously they don't know about this. So I'm sure that his friend, and I'm suspecting I know which friend it is, because the same friend was dating a girl and made the girl get an abortion. Meanwhile, they were living together, and he kept on saying that his family doesn't know he's too young or whatever to have a child or whatever. But they were not young. These people, I had my child at 28. We the exact same age, were born the same year. So I don't know why he's saying that at 28 he was too young to have a kid. But anyway, so I ended up figuring out that this guy, my baby daddy, paid this bouncer that he saw often, and he was from the same country, paid him to come to my house and represent his family just so that he can get away from telling the truth to his family. I honestly to God, I don't know how whoever came up with this is brilliant, but it was so disrespectful. I think it was so, I also don't believe that we even got an apology as a family till this day for him doing something like that. We still didn't get an apology. So my mom actually ended up messaging this guy and saying that you are a dog. You are the doggiest of the dogs that you can ever exist. You are the lowest of the low. What kind of, and he's a parent, what kind of parent or whatever, what kind of person does that? They can actually have a conscience and be like, yes, let's go and dribble this family. Like, what I'm still not understanding is like how my baby daddy thought that he was going to get away with this. Like, how he thought he was going to get it. I don't understand how he thought he was going to get away with this whole thing. Because he didn't. The lie didn't last as long as he wanted it to last. Because what happened is he kept on having to cover lie on top of lie on top of lie. The whole time that I was pregnant, he was always lying. He always had a different lie. There was always a lie on top of another lie. Till this day, he's still always lying. He's always like, there's just, I don't know, there's just like, for me, I just think that sometimes it's a mental thing. Maybe he's got mental issues that like, or he has some kind of sickness that he's a pathological liar. That's what he is. He's a pathological liar, and he's got narcissist. He's a narcissist. He's got these toxic behaviors that he likes to say that I'm toxic, I am this, I am that, I am that. It's like those people that provoke you, and then when you explode, it's not because they are the ones that were provoking you, it's because you are the one that is crazy, you are. I mean, he called me crazy and he said that I'm mad, who did he impregnate? And you know what, the funny thing is, I don't know what made me do that, but I kept all proof of all conversations that we had. And as he was telling his sister that she's lying, she's mad, I'm gonna call her, what is she talking about? Almost like I'm a bitter ex and all of that stuff. When she was busy, the sister was busy informing me of what his responses were. I was giving her the screenshots. And she's like, I don't understand how my brother is not saying, he's literally lying to us while he's saying us the truth. Like, I don't understand. But at the end of the day, I just realized that guy is just, he's an idiot, and I'm gonna have to share. We share a child, and he's an idiot till today. I believe that he's still like that because he's still been acting like that. Like, there's always lies on top of lies, and it's always I'm being blamed for things that I don't even know about or I don't even do. But that's fine because I've gotten to a level where I just know that mentally I don't think he's okay. And I obviously for a while thought that, okay, maybe it's just him, maybe his family, he does come from a good family and it's just him. But then I realized that, you know, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And I realized that that whole family, I don't even know. I don't know what goes on with them, because I haven't been in contact with even his parents. They've not even asked about their granddaughter. Like, I'm the one that lives with a granddaughter, so they don't even ask about her. I think the last time they spoke to me or whatever was in 2019. So I just realized that that whole family it's a pack of rotten apples, and I don't need that type of interaction. My daughter doesn't need the type of interaction with people like that, because the sisters live in Rosebank, here in Cape Town, like 15 minutes away. Ask me how many times I've asked to see my daughter. Ask me how many times. But that's not what we're here for. We don't care. And I just want to close off this video by saying that a lot of people like to say that there's crazy baby mamas in this world, but I'm telling you, the level of craziness that there are in baby daddies that are delusional is way higher. we just don't see it, because you only see the part where the baby mama is angry. Most of the time it's not even that she's mad, she's just angry at the situation that she's raising this child that we both made, and now I'm taking all of the responsibility, but you are there and you're living your best life. I just think that a lot of us need to, like, whenever you're gonna get into a relationship, guys, please just know your person, like, investigate before you commit in that type of way. If pregnancies do happen by mistake, and I just hope that this story, if you just see red flags, just please don't ignore them. Go with your gut, your intuition. I ignored a lot of red flags, I'm not gonna lie. I ignored a lot of red flags just because, I don't know why. But I just want to advise you guys just to be careful, and don't jump too fast. Investigate, even if it's right in the beginning of the relationship. Just try and investigate, find out about his family, find out all of this stuff. Even if there's no pregnancy there and it's just a relationship, just do due diligence and just find out who you're dating, because sometimes you think you're dating angel, Gandhi, you're dating Satan's offsprings, because this is what I believe, that this is the type of person that I got involved with. So I'm just gonna close off by saying, just be vigilant. Just don't throw off your intuition and the red flags because of love, because the price that you have to pay afterwards is dear. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching my video, and stay tuned for the next one. I don't think I'll do a story time next time. I'm going to do something more like a lifestyle. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Have a great day.